Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Nick Tan Chats. My name is Nick Tan, and on today's episode I'll be chatting with you guys about a PDF called Random, released by Irwin. So hi again guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for showing up, thanks for tuning in, and thanks for spending some time with me today. So I have been away for some time. I just spent a little under a month over in China, where I was doing my lecture tour and also performing my show, Curiosity, at some of the theaters around the various provinces. It's been a really tiring month, being on the road, but I actually gained so much, from interacting with the magicians and the mentalists over in China. I've made a lot of new friends, and this has truly been one of the highlights, I think, for me in 2025. So Irwin, the common magician, all right, and I'm sure many of you do follow him as well. If you don't follow Carl on YouTube, please head on over to his YouTube channel, The Common Magician, because he really shares so much material with you guys, and it's all for free, on YouTube. He's got a really academic style when it comes to discussing his thoughts on card magic, and I really enjoy listening to him and just watching his videos, because I feel I always learn something new whenever I tune in. So I've previously reviewed other items from Carl, Pick 6, his lottery effect, and also one for his book entitled Any, all right, which is a book on his any card, any number effect. So just before my lecture tour in China, Carl sent this PDF over to me called Random, and I've had time to go over it, over the course of my travels, and I'm going to tell you guys a bit about it right now. So first of all, Random is not a small PDF, okay? It's 86 pages long, okay? And well, what is Random about? Random is actually Carl's approach to stacked deck magic. So many of you out there will be familiar with stacked decks, the very popular ones. Mem decks include things like the Aronson and Mnemonica as well. But in this PDF, Carl will discuss his approach, all right, to handling this kind of magic. And if you are a follower on Carl's channel, you will know that his approach to magic is for the common magician, right? The everyday performer, who might not necessarily spend every single day, thinking about magic and performing magic as well. And when it comes to stacked deck work, right, mem deck work, I think it is useful, to be able to have the opportunity to perform with the tool, right, the mem deck regularly, especially if you're a professional performer, because it does take some work, right, in order to get really familiar with the system that you're using, and to be confident enough with it, to be familiar enough with it, in order to use the mem deck or whatever system you choose for performance. So Carl takes an approach where you learn a memorized deck or a stacked deck, and you don't get to use it very often. All right. So what happens when that happens? What happens when that happens? So what Carl proposes in this PDF is not to learn something new, okay? Which means you don't take a deck of cards, shuffle it up, and then try to brute memorize the whole thing. What you do is you build a stack by yourself, using your own kind of intuitive way of seeing things, all right? And when you build the deck, you build the stack yourself, you are then able to kind of really naturally know the stack. So using some really simple concepts, which are already kind of ingrained into us from a young age, right? He shows you how to build a stack, okay? And this is something that he calls the common stack. So in the PDF itself, and as I mentioned, it's 86 pages long, Carl will take you through exactly how to build the common stack. But what I found really useful was the accompanying video, all right, that came along with the PDF, because the video is an hour and a half long, and on the video itself, it's like watching an episode, of Carl on his YouTube channel, right, The Common Magician, where he will take you through exactly how he built, all right, the common stack. And with all the explanations and the visual aid as well, I found just watching the video, following along, learning the common stack became really simple. In addition to the common stack, Carl will also discuss with you his thoughts on a tetradistic stack, all right, where, well, it's groups of 13 basically, but yes, he will talk about that, and also he will also discuss his thoughts on false shuffling and false cuts as well. So personally for me, you know, I'm on mnemonica, okay, and I actually learned mnemonica just over 10 years ago, I think, because I wanted to handle the any card at any number effect. But now, you know, I have a sequence of effects that I do perform with a mem deck. I typically open with a kind of invisible deck kind of an effect. I go into a multiple selection kind of a routine. I go into a card calling kind of a routine, and then I close with an any card at any number. And of course, you know, because I do get to perform quite regularly with mnemonica, the stack is quite fresh in my mind, you know, but I can see where Carl's approaches to this sort of thing will be really helpful, especially if you're not you know, someone who performs regularly with this kind of thing, right? You are in fact a common magician, right? So Carl's thoughts will enable you to have the benefits of a stacked deck, you know, a mem deck, without, right, the tough work involved. In this PDF, Carl will also discuss with you some effects, one of which is something called going home, where, you know, actually Carl has released this in other places as well, but what this effect is that, you know, you have a shuffle deck, the cards are spread face down onto the table, spectator calls out a random card, and that card that they name is shown to be the only one that has returned to the deck in their new deck order position. And then there is something called comunicosis, okay, which is basically Carl's handling of the really infamous mnemonicosis, right, by Juan Tamariz. So a spectator names a card, and through a series of random cuts by the spectator and some counting as well, they arrive at their named card. And then my favorite out of all the effects, all right, is something called any, all right, which is basically the any card at any number, all right, or Carl's handling of it. And I'll be honest, you know, I used to perform RC Win's handling of this any card at any number effect, but sometimes, okay, especially when I'm not feeling up to it, Carl's approach is the one that I perform most often. His thinking and the logic behind why he performs the effect this way makes perfect sense to me, you know, and currently at this point in time, well, in conjunction with some techniques from RC Wind, Carl Irwin's ACAN is the one that I perform most often now. But all in, you know, if you are interested in stack deck magic, right, mem deck magic, I think this is a book that is great, you know, for you to get. Carl, as with anything that he does, right, he makes magic really accessible, you know, to the everyday performer. So if you are interested in stack deck magic, I can highly recommend you have a look at Random by Carl Irwin. It is available over at Penguin Magic for just $10, okay, and I think it really is just so much value for $10, right? You get the PDF, you get Carl's instruction as well in the video. It's a 1.5 hour video. And if you know Carl, right, if you go to his channel, you will see that he has, in fact, given us so much, right? Given to the community so much in terms of information and his knowledge as well, and his opinions on card magic. So I do think that, you know, $10 is just too little, you know, that Carl is asking for this amount of information. So yeah, you know, if you are a fan of the Common Magician, do head on over to Penguin and give him some support. Alright guys, but that's all for today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed it and got something out of it as well. And till the next episode, remember, do stay safe, take care of yourselves, have fun with your magic and your mentalism, and I'll see you on the next one.